Okay, so I am walking through the apartment before the new tenant moves in to try and show all of the spots where the previous tenants did not put the apartment back to the original way it was supposed to be. I'm just showing you some baseboard covers that have white paint all over it, drip marks, that these were fairly new baseboard covers that were only installed about 2 years ago, that didn't have any paint on them whatsoever. There is also this outlet cover here that is very apparent if you look underneath that they did not take it off, because you can still see the blue paint behind it that they had painted the apartment, which means that they did not take this outlet cover off to paint behind it. And you can see the blue paint over here as well. The set of blinds that were in this window, which were Venetian blinds like those ones back there, they no longer work at all. Where you're supposed to twist them and open them, they don't rotate so that you can open up the blinds. So those are broken and not able to be repaired. This is the light switch cover that they obviously did not take off also when they painted, because you can see the white paint all over the outlet, all over the light switch cover. If you look closely, you can actually see marks here where it looks like they might have tried to wipe it off. And if you look over here, there's white paint here as well, mostly on the top of the outlet cover. Right here, when I back up, I don't know if you'll be able to tell, because you almost have to be here to be able to see it, but this particular part of the wall, you can still see the blue color bleeding through in very many spots. It's not white, and if you look closely here, that's where you can kind of see the blue bleeding through. This is also another outlet cover that has paint on it. If you look at this baseboard, you can see paint marks right there, here, and as you continue to walk down, you'll just see paint continually along the baseboard covers. Right there, all along where it meets the wall right here. There's a lot of paint on there. And then as we get towards the back of the apartment, there's just all white paint all along the top of the baseboard cover. Right here, it's another big glob of paint, white paint right there. And then as we get here, there's paint all over the telephone jack outlet. There's paint all over this outlet cover right here, if you can see it as I back up. There's paint right there. More paint on the baseboard covers. There's actually blue and white paint, if you can tell. Blue from when they first painted it, and white from when they painted it again. Then here's another coaxial cable cover that has white paint all over it, if you can tell, right along here. And right along here. Then there's more paint on the baseboard cover all the way down, and then there's paint on that outlet cover as well. And actually this one has more blue paint on it than white if you look closely. Also a lot of drip marks on the wall, which, you know, is pretty much along this wall a lot. And then as we come over here, I'm going to walk around to the kitchen. We had piece of wood molding up here on the header that is plain, you know, wood molding that we stained. And if you look at each spot, they got paint all over the edge of the molding that they didn't even attempt to get off. Along the bottom here, you can see not only blue paint, but white as well, that they got the blue and white paint on here. And then if you come down this way, there's actually some white paint up here that it looks like they tried to wipe off and obviously did not come off. Then there's paint along where the molding meets the wall. Again, underneath, there's white paint and a little bit of blue paint. And when we come over to the other side, the same thing over here. There's white and blue paint where it meets the wall, as well as down at the other end. Right here where it meets the wall over there as well, you can see paint. You can also see some other spots of paint right there and right there, which means that now we're going to have to restain them or buy new molding. I don't know. We haven't touched anything yet, so we might have to either stain them or purchase new pieces of molding to fix those. There also is another spot in the kitchen where they painted they painted blue, and if you can see over here by the cabinet and the wall, they didn't even attempt to paint this blue over with white like we had asked them to. So right along here in the kitchen, if you look closely, I know the lighting isn't that great, but if you look closely, maybe this angle is better. Here's the window, and up above the window, there's still blue paints all along the top of the window, right there, all the way down. There's blue paint over here, all the way down to the backsplash, and then there's blue paint over here as well, where the molding, between the molding and the cabinet, that they cannot see.